Okay, this lesson is on finding the area of a triangle and finding the missing parts using the Pythagorean theorem. So you have to have two pieces of information. You have to know how to find an area of a triangle, and the area of any triangle is equal to your base of your triangle times your height of your triangle divided by 2. Okay, remember the Pythagorean theorem is only for right triangles. And it's take one leg, we'll call one leg A, you square it. You take your other leg, which is called B, and you square it. And it equals your hypotenuse, which is squared. So we'll go over these as we encounter each one. Okay, so for the area of a triangle, you need a height. And here's our height here. To make a height of a triangle, you go from a vertice to the opposite side. You draw a segment, and you make sure it's perpendicular to the other side. And this would be called our height of our triangle. You can draw 3 heights of a triangle. They already made one for us. We'll use it. Okay. So we also know it's the height because it's got this perpendicular indicator or 90-degree angle indicator. Alright, so that's our height. Our base, therefore, will be opposite that vertex. So here is our base on this side. Okay, we got part of the base. We don't have the whole thing. We got from here over to here. And I need to find the rest of it from here to here. So I need to find this distance here. And we'll call this distance A. Alright, so that's basically the only two pieces of information you need for the area of a triangle is your height and your base. So we've got to find this part here to complete our base. So guess what we're going to use? We're going to use our Pythagorean theorem. And why do we use our Pythagorean theorem? Because if you look at this triangle here that I'm tracing right now, okay, it's a right triangle. So we use Pythagorean theorem for right triangles. And I labeled this side A on purpose because this will be one of my legs of my triangle. This is the other leg of my triangle. It's also the height of the big triangle. Okay, my hypotenuse is always opposite my right angle. So I draw an arrow out here and it will be the opposite side to this will be my hypotenuse. And this side over here on this equation is my hypotenuse. Well, I can call this B. 4 will be B squared, so 4 squared. And I want to find A. So A squared. Now, I take A squared plus 4 squared equals 10 squared. When you're solving equations, always simplify where you can. 4 squared can be simplified and 10 squared can be simplified. So we write A squared plus 4 times 4 is 16 equals 10 times 10, which is 100. You can use a calculator if you need to. And then I want to solve this equation. I want to get A by itself. Okay, well, I don't have it by itself. I have the 16 over here. I'm adding 16. And if you remember from last year, when you adding something, you want to undo it with subtraction. So I subtract 16. If I take away 16, I'm left with 0 over here. And A comes down, and it's all by itself now. But I have to keep my equation balanced, so I subtract 16 from over here. Keeps the equation balanced. When you do one thing to one side, you got to do it to the other. So I take 100 minus 16, and it's going to give you 84. 10 minus 6 is 4. 9 minus 1 is 8. Alright, okay. Now I have A squared is equal to 84. A is still not by itself. I have A squared. To undo a squaring, you take the square root. If I take the square root of A squared, I now have A by itself. Again, if you want to keep your equation balanced, you got to do the same thing to the other side. So once I take the square root of 84 here, it's going to give me an answer, but I know it's going to be an approximate answer. It's not going to be exact, but it's going to be a really good approximation. So I'm going to use my calculator to find the square root of 84. I know the square root of 81 will give me 9. 9 times 9 will give me 81. So I know it's going to be greater than 9, and it's going to be less than 10 because 10 squared gives me 100. So it's going to be pretty close to 9. So on my calculator here that you have in class, go to Control, and I find the square root, which is right here, and I put in the number 84, and then I hit Enter, and I get 2 sources 21, so I want an approximate answer. So I hit Control and Enter, okay, which will give me 9.16515. So that's my approximate answer for A. And I come over here and I basically just fill it in. You don't have to, but it's, oops. It's approximately equal to 9, oh man, what the heck? Approximately equal to 9.16515. Notice I don't round this answer. I like to keep a few decimal places because it will keep it'll make my answer more accurate. So now my base is this total length here. So this part from here to here is 3. This part is 9.16. Add them together, and I take 3 plus 9 is going to give me 12. So my base is equal to 12.9. Oh, no, where did I get that? Okay. Okay, my base. And in fact, let's move it. In fact, let's get rid of all this stuff so we can now work on our area. I'm going to erase all this. And we know what our answer is here. I got it written over to the left here. So let's erase all this. Okay, you should keep your calculations on your calculator, on your paper though. Don't erase them. So if you get it wrong, I can check to see where you went wrong. All right, so I know what A is. Okay, I know what 3 is. This is 3. I know my base now. So B is approximately 3 plus 9 is 12.16515. Okay, my height is exactly equal to 4. And that's all I need to find the area. Area of this triangle is approximately equal to my base, which is 12.16515, times my height, which is 4, all divided by, and it's always true, it'll always divide by 2 for finding the area of a triangle. Okay, I don't want to have to go and figure this out. It'll take me a little while. Not too long, but it'll take me about 3 minutes. But hey, it's easier doing a calculator. So, okay, I just come over here and I go Control to divide. And it gives me a nice division template up here, or a fraction template. So I can put it in just like this. I can put a parenthesis if I want. And why is it coming out like that? Okay, don't know. It's probably because it's got shift, so go shift. Okay. Alright, there you go. There's a parenthesis. So 12.16515. Okay. Let's make it come outside that. We still want it on numerator. Times 4. Make sure it's up top. In the numerator. Divide by 2. Hit enter. Okay, and I get an answer like this. And my area of this triangle is approximately equal to 24.3 24.3303 Okay, let's move this guy out of the way. Okay, my instructions say round the answer to the nearest tenth, the final answer. This is my final answer, so I am going to round it. So, to the nearest tenth. Here is my tenth spot, T-E-N-T-H. This is my tens spot, T-E-N-S. Okay, so this is tenths. So my answer is going to be approximately equal to 24 point. Okay, I look to the right. If it's 5 or above, I'll round this up. If it's 4 or below, it stays, so it's staying. 3 is below 4. 5 rather. Alright, so my answer is 24.3. Now what is the units here? Suppose, okay, we had sides that are inches. Okay, now my units here are going to be inches squared. Because I took, and I'm finding the square, how many squares are going to fit in this triangle. I also multiplied inches by inches, which gives me inches squared. So that's how you find the area of a triangle. Let's quickly recount what we did here, okay? So, remember the areas of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. I use my Pythagorean theorem here to find the missing part of my right triangle. This is a base of a right triangle. This is a leg of a triangle, and so is this one. This is my hypotenuse, so I set this up as leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared, and I came up with an answer of 9.16515. Alright. Added it to the other part of the leg, it gives me base, and that gives me 12.16515. Multiplied by the height, which is 4 divided by 2, gives me my area. There you go. So let's move on to the next problem. Okay, number 2. Okay, it's basically pretty much the same thing. We're going to have to find the missing parts. Okay, you have a height, and you just need to find them all. So, hey, I'm going to pause this. Okay, I want you to pause your. Okay, I'm back to help you out here. I'm going to do this real quickly so that you understand what to do. So, first thing I want to do is I want to remember my area formula. 1/2 or base times height divided by 2. Alright, so I got my height. Hey, height is equal to 5. Let's go from a vertex to the opposite sides, making it perpendicular to that base. Okay, I need to find this part here. I can call this A or I can call this B. In fact, let's call it B. Because it's a leg. And this will be A, and this will be my C. Okay, my hypotenuse. So I'm going to go A squared plus B squared equals C squared, or leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. So let's make this 5 squared plus B squared equals 7 squared. Simplify. So simplified. Okay, make sure you get your variable by itself. So B is my variable. So I'm adding something to it, so I'm going to subtract. Subtract on the other side to keep it balanced. This will go away. B will almost be by itself. 49 minus 25, 9 minus 5 is 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. Okay, gotta undo, I gotta get rid of that square by square rooting. Square root here. Square rooting the B square will just make it equal to B. My fraction answer, my decimal answer is going to be an approximation. So I come over here and I find this by doing this. So I find the square root of 24 over here by going control, square root 24, control and enter, and I get an answer of 4.89. So 4.89898. There are more decimals there, but we only need a few. Okay, so I'm finished my calculator. Let's put it away first right now. And that's my B part. Okay, that's part of my base. And I'm ready to find the area. I'm going to erase some of this stuff so that we have some room to work. Okay, just make sure you copy that down. And we don't need that anymore either. And let's now go to our area. I have my height. I now have my base. So remember, my base is just these two parts added together. 9 plus 4.89898. Well, this should be approximately equal to. Approximately equal to 9 plus 4 is 13.89898. And now I've just used my area formula here. So area is equal to, approximately equal to, 13.89898 times my height, which is 5, right there, divide by the number 2, put it in your calculator, or use your brain, whichever you feel like using. Okay, your brain might take a little longer. Okay, but it's good exercise. So here I'm going to hit Control menu to clear this screen. Clear history 1. Okay, now I want to find out this answer here. So I'm going to Control and divide, gives me the division template or the fraction template. Okay, parenthesis 13.89898. Okay, come outside that, times, and we don't have to put the 5 in a parenthesis, and we really didn't need to put the other thing in parenthesis either. But a divided by 2, enter. Okay, and I get an answer of 34.7475. Okay, I want to round this to the nearest tenth. Okay, so here's my 10th spot, T-E-N-T-H. Look to the right, it's 4, so it's below 5, so it stays at 7. It doesn't round up, it just stays. So suppose these were meters. Okay, so it would be meters squared. This would be meters, this would be meters, oops. And it would be meters squared. And that's how we find area. And hey, I got a couple more problems if you want to try them. I'll show you the answers, and if you have questions in class, you can ask them, okay? So let me just flash them up here so you can see them, and you can do them. I don't need this now. Okay, let's clear this. Clear. Let's go to the next problem. Here's problem number 3. Okay, if you want to do that one, it's actually a good one to do. Okay, copy it down, put it on pause and copy it. And here's number 4. Put it on pause, copy it down, and then do it. And here's number 5. And here's number, okay, 6, so you can't see. Okay, so there's number 5. And let me show you the answers to these. Okay, so I have to close this. So problem number 3. Okay, now notice they have 34.8 in number 2. It's because what they did was they rounded the intermediate values, which you really shouldn't do. And they shouldn't have done. Okay, so number 3, the answer is 29.7. Okay. Number 4 is 23.8. And number 5 is 6.6. And 6 is 46.8. So if you didn't get any of those answers, please check with me. And enjoy.